Hello and welcome to the second and possibly the last installment of this Shadow and Tell series. Why do I say that? Because there wasn't a lot of merchandise for UFO, Jerry Anderson's UFO. For anyone who hasn't seen my previous restore, it's a science fiction series from 1970 about these saucers coming to Earth to commit all sorts of nefarious deeds. Often involving stealing people's organs for reasons that we never fully learn, and Earth's efforts to resist them with all sorts of interesting military hardware represented by lovely, chunky 1970s proper in-camera model work. And these are the Dinky Toys range, which represented some of the vehicles in the series, but only three. There were only three of these, and I have never seen the third one, which is Commander Straker's car. If I ever see it, I will, of course, snap it up whatever condition it's in. These ones are fairly common, but it's not common to find them in good shape, and this one is no exception. The metal bits are very solid, as with the Interceptor, which I previously restored. These are built like a castle, insofar as their hulls are so just die-cast metal, but the plastic bits that they come kitted out with, most of those have really suffered. This is the best bit that was left, and even it's not in great condition. The seat is on this side is warped and pushed in, so I'm going to have to see if I can save that by giving it a bit of heat treatment, and I'll probably respray it so its damage isn't too noticeable. But there's so much else missing. There should be fake glass in there, plastic glass, that was all smashed up. There should be a missile to go on this firing mechanism. Missile's gone, that's not uncommon. Even the spring has gone. And there should be tank treads on these wheels, and they've gone. So it's very basic what's left. And if there was any difficulty getting repro parts for this, I would have written it off. Thankfully, there isn't any difficulty. These are all readily available on eBay. These are famous enough to have warranted this. And that wasn't too bad. All those replacement parts, that was only about £20. I've paid a lot worse than that for G1 Transformers replacement parts. I also picked these little train figures up. I think they're meant to be passengers for a model train, but I just felt there should be a pilot, because the Interceptor came with its own pilot. This vehicle didn't, and it just feels like it's going to look a little too empty there, so I'm going to pick a couple of characters from the TV series to be represented by these two. Probably one should be Lieutenant Mark Bradley, because he was the one of the leading Shadow infantrymen. And maybe I'll make the other one Commander Straker or something, I don't know, or Paul Foster. There's lots of possible choices. I'd better be clear in my mind, though, because they're going to get glued into that, so there won't be much scope to change my mind. Now, if you look in here, you'll see the replacement stickers. I've actually gone for blue stickers. You can get them in the original green on eBay, but I decided I'm going to actually paint this closer to its appearance on the TV series, which was a metallic blue with some white highlights and some red highlights around this grill area, and I'm going to have to mask that off when I've done the main paint job and see if I can paint on the details using the masking tape to stop going over. So that's going to be quite fine work. But yeah, at any rate, I'm not a great fan of this sort of olive military green they've gone for. They did seem to like green, but at least the green on the Interceptor was kind of iridescent, almost insecty really, which is not inappropriate because some of the vehicles have very clear insect inspirations. Ones you don't get in this series, there's a moon buggy which is made of three sort of round modular sections and looks like very similar to Starbug from Red Dwarf, actually. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was the inspiration. So I found the Interceptor green attractive, but that's not attractive. So I've got a nice metallic blue spray to put on there, since that's all going to have to be stripped anyway. That's going to be sanding wire brushes, I think. I can't really use any chemicals around the flat. We have a small flat, and it might be dangerous for our cat, bless her. But I think I can get most of the paint off. I've got a little Dremel as well. I can get between the wheels, hopefully with a wire brush from that. Get most of the old paint off, and then I'll just undercoat it, and that's probably going to stay. I'll probably just put 2 layers of grey undercoat on that, because that was grey anyway. But that's going to have the metallic blue on it after the undercoat. I shall have to be careful, because there is a mechanism here as well I don't want to block. If you flip the little radar at the back there, yay! You get this hideous orange as well. That's probably going to get stripped and repainted black. I don't know. That's peeling as well. It's so solid, but it's really been loved, this vehicle, or hated, I don't know. I guess they were meant to be like armoured personnel carriers, but they didn't seem to be terribly well armoured in the series, because I don't recall that a single one of them ever stood a single shot from the laser weapon of those UFOs. I think they all exploded instantly when that happens, so I don't know why the SHADO personnel just didn't ride into battle on mountain bikes. At least they'd have been a little separated when they all got shot at. Anyway, the missile launcher fits on the top there. That's sort of accurate to the series. There's one episode in the series where they deploy a sort of mortar cannon on the top, and they use that to drop depth charges in a lake, as I recall. There's also a machine gun, but they don't have that. I mean, they could only fit so much detail in these, I guess. But it's a really nice model, other than that nasty colour, which I shall be replacing. So, I shall resume this when it's in a more fit state, I think, and I'm ready to start work on the detailed painting. Okay, bye for now. Stopping the music there before I get sued. And let us now take a look at our latest addition to the SHADO garage, the SHADO 2 Mobile. And you may have noticed when I pushed that in, these tracks did not move. Now they could move, but I'd be reluctant to overdo them moving. Let's see how we get on with that. Just try them out. Yep, so they do work as Caterpillar tracks, just about. But yeah, they're a bit delicate. That was one little problem I had, is the instructions actually recommend you to warm those up before attempting to squeeze them on, because you're supposed to assemble them and then sort of ease them around the wheels. And it was a slightly nerve-wracking operation. I thought they were going to snap all the time, and I think I did snap them slightly on the other side, unfortunately. You can see I've had to do a repair with glue there, though it does recommend you use a drop of glue anyway to help them adhere together. I had to use a little more there to fix the damage I think I might have inflicted. Still, they seem to be holding on, so nothing major. But be aware of that. If you decide to restore one of these vehicles, you should follow the advice and definitely warm these up before attempting to put them on. Other than that, I think this isn't too bad a job. The blue paint has come out close enough. It's a little darker than I thought it would be. That may be my fault because I put quite a dark grey undercoat on, so next time I may try a white undercoat to see if that'll make the colour pop more. The only bit I'm very unhappy with actually are the stripes, the highlights, because I used a brush on acrylic for that, and even with the masking tape, it's not as sharp a line at all as I would have liked, and the texture is noticeably off. So I may have to try and find a way to use a spray paint next time, which one is always reluctant to do for very fine work, but I don't think there's going to be much choice if I really want to match the texture of the main colour. Still not too unhappy with it. Let's have a look in the window at the pilots. So on that side, you can see old Ed Straker there. And in the other we have Nina Barry. I said I was going to do Mark Bradley, didn't I? And I never did. Oh well, if I pick up another one, we can have Mark and Paul Foster. Let's see if the play feature works now. With all the moving parts, of course, at every stage of the way I had to make sure they didn't get clogged up with paint, and hopefully we succeeded. So let's see if we can deploy our weapon system. Excellent. Although you might notice I've had to put a little blob of white tack under there. That's just for friction, because when this missile is fitted, it tends to swing downwards because that end is very, very heavy, which causes it to jam instead of spin around neatly and dramatically. Still, it's a cool little play feature. And let's see if the missile itself will fire now. Whoops, hang on. It's really stiff, this. Oh, there we go. So we got a spring in the repro set, we can see that there. See how well it fires. Pull this little tab at the side, fire at the UFO. Yay! It doesn't fire as dramatically as the very tightly sprung missile on the Shadow Interceptor. It's still pretty good though. Wouldn't take out an eye, but it might bruise a cornea or two. So there we go. We now have two reasonably pretty vehicles for our Shadow garage. We've learned a few things along the way, and hopefully this will not be the last installment. I'm hoping to, at some point, pick up Ed Straker's car, though I've yet to see one in the wild. But if I see another of these ones around, I may pick that up and have another go. After all, I've got loads more of these little railway figures I could use for pilots. Be a shame to just leave them around with nothing to do. Or if I see another of these, maybe I will have a go at restoring one of those to its TV livery instead, have it in white and red. So there we go, there's another installment of Shadow and Tell for you. Hopefully see you again. Bye for now.